Francesco Bagnaia has 10 points from 4 sessions in 2026. 10. From a 3-time world champion on the best bike on the grid. And he cannot explain why. That is not a slump. That is something worse. And to understand what Austin this weekend actually means for Bagnaia, you have to understand what Ducati already decided before the season even started. Because the decision wasn't made in Thailand. It wasn't made in Brazil. It was made in January, when Pedro Acosta's arrival at Borgo Panigale for 2027 was confirmed. A deal widely reported as agreed before a single lap of 2026 had been run. Marc Marquez on one side, Pedro Acosta on the other. Bagnaia is finishing the last chapter of a story the factory has already moved on from. Jorge Lorenzo said it without hesitation. Unfortunately, in this sport, you are worth as much as your last race, or in this case, your last season. Before, everyone wanted Bagnaia. Ducati renewed him with a big contract. He is Italian, a 2-time world champion. No one had ever won 2 titles with Ducati, not even Stoner. His value was very high. Unfortunately, in this sport, motorcycling is like that. Lorenzo has been in that exact position. He knows what it looks like when a factory starts building its future without you at the centre. And in 2026, that building has already started. 2 races in, the results are making that sequence visible in real time. If you enjoy real MotoGP analysis, the politics, the contracts, the stories behind the results, subscribe. Now back to why Austin changes the conversation. Because the problem Bagnaia is carrying into Kota has a very specific and unsettling shape. In practice, every Friday, every warm-up, every session where the clock isn't running on a race, he is competitive, fast, part of the front group. Then the race begins, and everything unravels. He described it himself after Brazil. From the start of the season, testing and here, apart from the races, I was always having a good feeling. Strange that then, in the race, I was struggling like this. It looks like we are struggling quite a lot to stop the bike and have a normal corner speed. And then also the rear grip, it's not very constant. During the practice sessions, yes, I feel much better with the new bike. In the races, no. He cannot explain it, his engineers cannot explain it, and that absence of explanation, that gap between what the data says and what the race shows, is itself the most alarming part, because it is the exact same pattern that cost him the 2024 championship in the closing rounds. The exact same pattern that ended his 2025 title fight entirely. And 2 races into 2026, nothing has changed. Ducati's team director Davide Tardozzi did not look for excuses after Brazil. He said it plainly. It's not bad luck. It's a mistake that stems from the fact that we haven't been able to give him the confidence he needs to race at his best. And then came the sentence that reframes everything heading into Austin. We can't always rely on Marc's talent to make up for our shortcomings. Ducati, the most dominant manufacturer in the sport, publicly admitting that one rider's extraordinary ability has been masking a machine problem. And the rider struggling most with that machine is the man who gave them their era, who built that machine into a championship weapon, who delivered the titles that made Ducati the reference for every factory on the grid. And while Bagnaia searches for confidence, Marquez already looks like the rider this bike was built around. He won the sprint in Brazil last weekend. His first victory of the 2026 season. A reminder that when conditions suit him, nobody on the current grid can match his instinct. His ability to feel the front end, to push into corners that other riders have already given up on, to manufacture lap time from pure aggression rather than mechanical compliance. That is the reference Ducati is now engineering toward, which makes what is happening to Bagnaia not just a performance problem, it is an identity problem. He is the rider who shaped this project, and now the project is moving without him. Now they arrive at Austin, the circuit where Marquez has won 7 times. More wins here than any other rider in the history of the event. The fast direction changes in Sector 1. The heavy braking into the slow corners. The commitment required to carry speed through the left-handers in the back section. The precision needed into turn 12 after the long straight. Every single part of this track rewards front-end trust and pure aggression. It is the kind of layout that plays directly to everything Marquez does naturally, and the kind that punishes immediately any rider who is searching for confidence rather than operating from it. Front-end trust is precisely what Bagnaia has been unable to find in race conditions for over a year. Not in qualifying, not in practice. In races, when it actually matters, when the championship points are being distributed and the cameras are on. Last year, he won at Kota, but Marquez crashed from the lead on lap 9, and Bagnaia acknowledged it himself. I know this success is also due to Marc's crash. Today, he was faster than anyone else. A win that mattered for the points table, one that changed nothing inside the garage about who the reference rider was. Tardozzi before this weekend. I think Aprilia will continue to be competitive in Austin, but I'm sure Ducati will be closer. We know the problem and are looking for ways to solve it. That is the language of managing expectations, not the language of a team expecting dominance. And managing expectations is not where Ducati has operated for the last 5 years. This is the reality Bagnaia is racing inside. 13th in the championship, 46 points behind Bezzecchi, 24 points behind his own teammate. Every other Ducati on the grid, satellite bikes, customer machinery, scoring more than him. His seat at Borgo Panigale already allocated to someone else for 2027. There are still 20 rounds left. He has come back from difficult starts before. His 2022 title charge, his 2023 defence, even the mid-season recovery that made 2024 as close as it was. But the timeline is tightening. The future is already moving, and Austin is the first circuit of 2026 that should, on paper, suit the factory Ducati more than anywhere they have raced so far. If there is a weekend to turn this around, it is this one. Do you think the GP26 is failing Bagnaia, or has he lost the ability to adapt when a bike doesn't perfectly suit him? And if Austin produces another difficult result at a track where Ducati should be strong, what does that tell us about the rest of 2026? Drop your answers in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe. There is a lot more of this coming, because if Austin confirms what Thailand and Brazil already suggested, this is no longer Bagnaia's team, and it might already be too late to take it back.